So you get paid according to the impact you are making. The house you live in, the car you drive, the money you make, it's all directly proportional to the impact you are making. So, how to become an impact player and who all are these impact players? So, if you want to know the answer of this, stick around. Today, I'm going to summarize the book Impact Player by Liz Wiseman. Actually, the summary is just for myself because there are so many good tips in this book which I need to get reminded again and again. I was very fortunate to work with many of the impact players, and what I realized that many of them may have not read this book because being an impact player is about mindset, and it is an attitude thing. So this book will help us figure it out how that we can develop the mindset of an impact player. So here I'm summarizing the book, but I'm sure I'm not going to do the justice to this book. So I will highly recommend that you please go ahead and buy this book. So the first thing about impact player is that they are continuously looking for the opportunities. They are looking around the system and figuring out the inefficiencies and trying to figure it out how to improve it. So if you see all the startup ecosystem around us is created by this impact player, they are looking at the system and figuring out the inefficiencies and figuring out how to improve the system. And that's how these startups are born. The people who are continuously looking for the opportunity is the first hallmark of an impact player. So if you see your life today, whole day you are using different system, different applications in your mobile or in your desktop. And if you will have a critical eye, continuously looking for the opportunity that how this thing can be improved, that will help you develop a mindset that you will start making a difference in your work life also. Second thing about the impact player is about the lack of clarity. So wherever there's a lack of clarity, lot of people, the normal people will get frozen up. They will wonder what to do or they'll run to their manager asking for help. But for the impact player, the lack of clarity actually energizes them because defining the problem, because when you have a lack of clarity, it means the problem is even not defined. So defining the problem is the fun part. Like what problem need to be solved, that is more difficult and that's more interesting than getting the solution of the problem. Because I see today's day and time, the software and the tooling around everything is matured enough that you can take any problem and you can solve. But what problem to solve is a difficult problem. So the lack of clarity is a booster for the impact player. And as such, if you will see, the more you will go higher up in your organization, the more senior you will become in the organization, the problem statement will become smaller and smaller to you. For example, when I joined a company as a CTO, I was given one line statement that modernize the IT. There's no more instruction beyond that. So the lack of clarity should energize you. You should not get frozen by the lack of clarity, but see it as an opportunity that you are given a chance to define the problem. And that is a sign when there's a lack of clarity and you were given the task, there's a sign that the senior management trusts you to get the clarity out of the situation and solve the right problem. The next thing about impact players are while others do their job, impact players do the job that need to be done. They don't want to be told. They figure it out what's need to be fixed and they get rolling. This is the picture of my son. I never told him to take care of the cars, but He will do it all by himself. Nobody tells him, but he will go clean them, check the tire, check the oil, get the tire rotating, everything by himself. He figured it out. Oh, Wi-Fi is slow, so he wired the internet in the home. So this is what differentiate the impact player from the other normal people, because they will figure it out what need to be done and they will go and do that. They will not wait for anyone's order, or they will not ask or wait even for the permission. I remember my time in Microsoft, there was a saying that it is better to beg for the forgiveness than ask for the permission. That's the motto impact player live by, that it is better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. So you may meet many people who complain often that this is not right and that is not right. So in place of escalating, impact player will go ahead and fix things. Sometimes I see people complain, I'm not paid enough, so I'm not going to give my 100%. But the truth is, they will never be paid enough because they are not ready to give their 100% and fix things without asking. If you will be just used to giving 110%, always, every time, everywhere, giving your 110%, you will see in short time the universe will pay your work. If it's not the current employer, then somebody else will pay. So next about impact player are they are very low maintenance. Don't be a time sink for your manager. Be very respectful of your manager's time. If you are given a problem, you should update him or her in a very succinct way. Don't give too much details, which is not needed for at your manager level. You are hired by your manager to deal with the detail. You should give your update with just right amount of detail, not too much, not too little. So this is an art you will learn with time. In doubt, go ahead and ask before you send the report, and always have a TLDR, too long, didn't read section, and then go in a detailed section. So if your manager only wants to read an executive summary, he or she should just read an executive summary. Be very respectful for your manager's time. Don't be a time sink for your manager. Next is they step up and then they step back. Impact players are not interested in the limelight. They don't want to hog the limelight. They step up to do the work and then step back when the work is. Interestingly, the universe works in a very interesting way. People who elbow other for the spotlight, they soon lose the spotlight. So players who are trusted with the ball are those who know what to do next and how to move forward and pass the ball when needed to make a play. Your peers will be more likely to get behind your effort to lead if they know it's temporary. You are not there to hog the limelight. You are here with just a true spirit of helping people. You need to show them that you will step back once the work is done and are willing to follow them when they are leading. So they step up and then they step back. They don't hang around for the limelight, because the true joy of work is work itself. They move on to solve other problems. In fact, impact players are so much interested only in solving the problem that sometimes it is very hard to hold on to a good employee or a good impact player, because if they don't have interesting problem to solve, they are gone. They leave generally the companies or group because they don't see that there are enough interesting problems to solve. Ask and adjust. So impact player will always ask their manager how much detail you want. They ask other before jumping to help if they need help and in which area. It is important to ask. Please don't assume and then adjust accordingly after asking. Same time, don't wait for the invitation. Raise your hand and offer yourself. Next thing is, impact players generally have a broader view of the business. They will never remain just in their lane. If they are responsible for testing, they will peek under the hood and see how the code is written. If they are responsible for finance, they will check how marketing is done. So they are never staying in their lane, and they are always looking up and down and left and right to figure it out how the whole system is working. They always interested in the broader view of the business. They don't want to be constrained just in their lane. So you want to spot an impact player, just look around. No matter what position that person is, he or she will act as if she is a CEO of the company. They are always looking for the stakeholder. They are looking for the customer. They will always question why. Why are we doing this? How this is helping the customer. And if you don't have a good answer for this, if you cannot tie your work with the customer value, don't do it. So impact players are always a voice of customer inside an organization. And they tend to be self-managing. They don't need much direction. When they meet the manager, in place of taking the order, they will update the manager that what are they doing. Notice this small thing. If you will make this pivot, it's going to make a huge difference in your life. So when you're having your next one-on-one with your manager, see what's happening there. Are you telling the manager what you're doing and what you're planning and what we should be doing? Then taking the orders from the manager. So make this small change and get into the driving seat. Start proposing the changes. Start coming up with the suggestion that what you should be doing. And remember one more thing, that you should never get a reminder from your manager. If you get a reminder from your manager about anything, take it as a red mark at your end. If there's any task is given, any job is given, make sure that you update the manager before he asks about it. So don't let your manager send you a reminder. Very important point. They learn the game. So to be of maximum value inside an organization, to be of service, we first need to know what is value. We need to know how the game is played. You need to clearly understand the skills and capabilities that are most prized in your organization. You have to know what are the top priorities. What are the top priorities of your manager? What are the top priorities of the organization, of your department, etc. What is valued by your leader, your customer, and your partner? So you need to know, is it quality or is it quantity? Do you need to go to market fast and capture the market with your beta product, or wait to build a perfect product to go into market? Is the speed of delivery is important or the quality of the delivery is important? And in any organization, no matter where they are, depending on time and space, certain time you have to go fast to deliver. Sometimes you have to focus on quality, and you have to know when to focus on what. And remember one more thing, the stated culture is rarely the actual culture. Impact players are the active decoder of the culture. They read the poster on the wall and observe the behavior in the hall. They pay less attention to what people say, but what people do. Next is make yourself useful. What a simple advice. See yourself as a problem solver. Just figure it out how you can be of some use. They find a way to serve. Find out what is important to the leader. Impact players learn what the leader needs and are great practitioner of what I call upward empathy, the tendency to look up at the manager and see not only a demanding boss, but that boss challenges, constraint, and best intention. Upward empathy is looking beyond what frustrates you about your boss to appreciate what frustrates your boss, especially if the frustration is you. So upward empathy can be enhanced through perspective taking, the ability to take someone else's viewpoint into your account. So let me say it again. Upward empathy can be enhanced through perspective taking, the ability to take someone else's viewpoint into your account. We talked about upward empathy is looking beyond what frustrates you. Basically, you're looking up at your manager and trying to appreciate through your manager's point of view. Same way, you should have downward empathy also. The people who are reporting to you, you should realize what they are going through day to day, and you should have empathy for them also for their own jobs. They are generally thinkers. They find out what is important to their leader. They ask, are you getting what you need? They actively maintain their broader view. They actively seek win, WIN. What's important now? Remember this thing, this is a very key point. They actively seek what's important now. So, do you know what is important now? Do you understand your organization top priorities? Would your manager will say that you get it? Can you converse easily about the strategy? Do you know what is the top priority of your manager, top priority of your group and of your company? So figure it out. What is the win? Win is what's important now. And if you don't know, go tomorrow and ask what's important. And they play where they are needed. The higher you are in the organization, the more strategic you need to be. But no matter where you are in the organization, you need to be tactical too. You should be able to go up and down with ease. You can be doing a strategy, and next hour you may be solving a problem very tactically. The best example I see about is Elon Musk. When he was sleeping in the factory, from strategy, he's literally sleeping in the factory, fixing the machines they are working. So to be able to go up and down between strategy and tactical, one thing is very important, that you have to be very technical in nature. You have to know the job. You should be able to do the job. If somebody doesn't show up in your team, can you go and do their job? That's important. That's why if you will see the successful organization around you, you will find out the managers are very technical in nature. I know about Microsoft. There you will find often the VP level of managers can still code, and and they can talk about code to any developer at any level. So they are very technical in nature. So that's why they can fluidly move from up and down, from being strategic to be tactical. Next is you have to get into the agenda. You have to find out whatever is the biggest problem of the organization and try to solve that. Once you will get into the agenda, this open doors for you. Stakeholder will have time to meet with you, senior leadership will provide resources, funding, etc., and remove obstacles for you. But for sure, they will be high pressure tasks. More focus will be on you, but same time you will get more visibility. So don't be afraid of taking risky and high stake jobs. Here's another thing. One success in a tough task is better than 10 successes in small and insignificant jobs. So are you on agenda? Are you solving the most important problem of your organization and senior leadership? To know that, you will start noticing, do people have time for you? Does the calendar open up and meeting gets scheduled quickly? Resources become available. Work will get easier because you will get a lot of support. As the work will increase, the progress will come faster and more efficiently. Of course, there will be more pressure because the work matters. Expect to feel more weight on your shoulder and greater pressure to perform if you are in agenda. But if you are not in agenda, you will see people don't have time for you. And here are the few signs that you are off the agenda. People will have no time for you. Meetings are hard to schedule. You hurry up and then wait because people don't have time to meet with you. One on one with your boss often get cancelled. You don't get response from people. You send emails, but nobody sends you the response. You don't get any feedback. When you ask people to review your document, you get a little feedback or receive a cursory response such as, looks good. To be an impact player, you have to have a pursuit of passion. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you don't love your job, then get out. Leave your job. Do something else. There's no need to suffer in a job which you don't like. Or learn how to love your job. Sometimes you have to change your perspective. In place of being grumpy and unhappy, think you choose to do this. You are so fortunate to given this opportunity to do this. Always think like that. There are so many people who don't have enough work, and you are fortunate to do this work. So from my office, I see a construction site. When I get stressed with my job, I see the construction worker working out in cold. And then I realize my job is not 10% as hard as theirs. And on top of that, I paid much better than that. This realization shift my perspective. And I feel very grateful for my job. No matter how stressed I am, as soon as I shift this perspective, that how fortunate I am to be in this office, in this building, and not working out in the cold, suddenly the toughest problem, the biggest stress seems like nothing to me. Next is impact player become how of their what. So the impact player make connection with stakeholders' agenda and the work they are doing right now. So figure it out what you're doing. Is it connecting with the stakeholder agenda or not? And let people know you are the how of their what. So find out first what the stakeholder, what's the biggest problem they have, and then tell everybody how you are solving the stakeholder problem. And have a one or two line statement which you can repeat again and again in the organization so people understand that how come you are the how of their what. For example, if you're working on a data strategy, you should let people know again and again and remind them, the senior leadership is, data strategy is the fundamental pillar for customer satisfaction and business growth. You cannot achieve operational efficiency and growth without data strategy being in place. Now, if you are the guy who is trying to solve the data strategy and you keep telling this again and again to people, they will see you as how of their what. They will see you as the solution of their problem. Next is stay connected and drop pins. By that we mean is a leader's agenda can change as quickly as backcountry weather. When working in the white space between formal organization, check in frequently with your team and with your boss, with your manager, that what you're doing, let everybody know what exactly you are doing, where you are venturing out, and you should occasionally drop a pin, much like a hiker, using a satellite tracker to alert others of their current position. It's like you are sharing your current location with your family. Same way you should think that you always keep sharing your location, what you're doing with your manager. So don't just update others on your work, but find out how their priorities are fitting on what you are doing. Here are a couple of ways you can build your credibility. Do things without being asked. Anticipate problems and have a plan. Do a little extra, figuring out yourself. Finishing the job without being reminded. This is very important. Make sure that your manager does not send you a reminder and you finish the job without a reminder. And in last, getting to the point and be straight, upfront, and honest, and have an open communication with everybody. Being curious and asking good questions. asking for feedback, continuously asking for feedback, admitting mistakes and fixing them fast, be willing to change, and taking smart risk. You should always take some risk. It's so important. If you're not taking any risk, I doubt if that you will ever grow. Without risk, there's no growth. And you should always look forward and figure it out what problems can come in future and try to warn people. Like Black Friday is coming. There will be surge in the traffic. Check, can we handle the 10 times traffic what we handle every day? So look forward. Always try to secure the permission. By that I mean you have to build the social capital. You have to know people, form friendship with them. How you do that? By helping them. So how you build the social capital? The best way is to help people. Secure permission to help. Ask before you jump. Don't have any hidden agenda because people smell everything. If you want to help someone, just go with the pure motive of helping. Here's one more high impact habit is always you are raising your hand for a task. Tell people you can help, how and why, etc. Step up with permission. Impact players are never satisfied with passive participation. If it's just a passive participation, it's better you leave the group. You don't show up in those meetings where you are supposed to be just a passive participation. It harms you more than help you in any way. So if there's a passive participation from you in any of the project, just leave. Tell them you don't want to be there. Because if you want to be somewhere, always be active and actively participate. Just don't show up in a meeting working on a laptop, just showing your face. It is actually harming you than help you. They always look for ways to improve. Listen for white noise. Listen for ambient problems, low grade, persistent problem where the organization can make marked improvement with a little bit of leadership and focus. So look for small inefficiencies that are repeated and add up to a large waste over time. What problem have staff members become numb to? They might be shockingly obvious to a new customer or a newcomer or a staff. Try to look any process, any system with a new eye of a new customer, and ask a lot of questions. So cover your bases. You may not have to wait for management approval before taking charge of a situation, but always inform the manager, inform the management what you're doing. So before you go and chase another small project, ensure your boss knows you have got the bases covered on your core job. Check in regularly to let them know what you're working on and how it is going. Additionally, invite yourself doesn't mean you should surprise a meeting leader with your presence. Rather, check with them first and suggest how your attendance can benefit the outcome. Never surprise your boss. So, this is an important suggestion. Never surprise your boss. Even if we say that it is better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission, but still, it's a good idea to fire a mail saying that you are going to do this something because you don't want your manager to be surprised because they have a bigger, larger view, and whatever you think is the priority or the right solution may not be. So always keep your boss in loop. Make sure they never get surprised. This is the best advice I got out of this book. Of course, you should make it easy for people to provide you feedback. You should be friendly enough. You should be asking them often. But the best advice I found in this book is ask for guidance, not the feedback. That's such a beautiful advice because when you ask people that you are asking for a guidance, they already become your mentor. They already now invested in your success because they are the guide. because you are asking for guidance. So remember one thing, this small change will make a huge difference. That ask for guidance, not for feedback. If you stayed till here in this video, I think this is worth your time. I think this advice is worth your time, that ask for guidance, not for feedback. This is again, be succinct. Such an important advice. Speak clearly, present an opposing view to add credibility, but not for the heck of it. Bring it up just to show the completeness of your thought, that you thought about all the corner cases. Last, let people know what you have done to make their work easier. Don't overdo the detail, just let them know what they don't have to worry. And surprise people. Always do more than expected. Leave people with positive surprises. And build champions, build a mutually supportive relationship with your peer and stakeholders, with your friends. So other people can talk about you. You don't have to talk about yourself. So how you will build champion and earn some social capital? By continuously, selflessly helping people. Always figuring out how you can be of some use, how you can help people achieve their agenda, achieve their result. Try to become how of people's what, and remain a low overhead person in the team. Don't be a time sink for anybody. Remember how I talked about being an impact player is all about mindset. So this slide is talking about how you can have a mindset of an impact player. You have to get this lens of opportunities. So you will look everything, every problem through a lens of opportunity. You see a messy problem, you see an opportunity to become more useful. You see an unrelenting demand, you see an opportunity to work together. You see a moving target. You see an opportunity or reason to build new capabilities. So, your this attitude of looking at every problem, looking at every challenge as an opportunity will make you an impact player. I hope this is a good use of your time. You learn few things. I don't think you have learned anything new here, but I think it will be a good reminder for you. It will be a good reminder to keep this thing in mind and try to operate with these principles. And as I said initially, that I may be not doing the justice to this book. So if I have missed something and if you have some more ideas, please feel free to leave a comment and send me some feedback. Thank you. Thank you again for your time.